Hello, this is Dominique Davis again. I just want to thank everybody for sharing and watching my video, and all the people who wrote me and let me know that they were going to support me. You guys are really appreciated. I did not expect what happened to happen, but I just want to thank God that it did happen, and that especially for the people who keep on writing me and keep on adding me and letting me know that they're going to walk with me through this process. Today I want to talk more about my mom. My memories in childhood with my mom. I remember when I was little, at first my mom was a good mom. My sister said that my mom didn't do drugs at first, like that she started to do them after being with my dad. But I remember my mom rocking us to sleep, like she rocked me to sleep, and maybe that's why I have such a strong feeling of I believe every kid should be rocked. Like I believe every baby should be rocked. Like that's that's one thing that I wasn't neglected of. Like I was rocked to sleep and stuff when I was little. But I remember as we grew up, my mom started to do drugs, and just bad stuff started to happen. Like we didn't have money for stuff and for food and stuff. And I remember I guess one day she spent the money, her money on drugs. We didn't know that though. But it was close to my little sister's birthday. My new little sister, Tamaya is her name, and she was little, and she was turning 1. And I guess my big sister kept on begging my mom for her to have a birthday party, but I guess that my mom didn't have money for it because she had spent all her money on drugs. I guess it made her feel bad. So back in the day, like there was things called like protein tanks. I don't know if anybody knows about those, but we had a propane tank house. So I guess my mom started to feel really bad, and she turned the propane on, or the gas on, and she told us to all go to sleep. And we were all laying there, and she was laying in the house, and she was going to kill us all. And I guess my big sister said that she woke up, or she asked my mom, I don't know if she ever went to sleep, but she asked my mom what she was doing. And my big sister said that my mom just kept telling her to go to sleep, try to go to sleep. It'll be okay. And thank God the propane ran out. I remember my mom telling us that when we got older, she told us that the propane ran out. So that had to only be God. But I remember the propane ran out, and I just remember like a little while later we were going to foster care. Guess we're going to foster care because my mom called CPS, because CPS was already on her trying to get us, and she couldn't take it anymore. She was stressed out, and she called CPS and told them that she was feeling suicidal and that she tried to kill us all. I didn't know that when I was little. When I was little, my mom told me that CPS was called on her, and that she had no choice. She had to give us up. I didn't know that she had called. I already knew CPS was called on her, but I didn't know that she called in and said that, and that's the main reason we went in. I just remember that a little while later, I guess my mom panhandled, and when we were little, I don't know if you guys know what panhandling is, but that's when you go up and you ask people for money. And my big sister was always so ashamed of doing that, but I was little, I didn't know any better. I thought it was okay. So I guess my mom panhandled and made some money for my little sister's birthday, and my big sister went to town on the bus, and she bought a few things for my little sister's birthday. And I remember being at my granddaddy's house, and we blew balloons up and we put them all over the ceiling and stuff like that, and we celebrated my little sister's birthday. I believe it was like 3 days before her birthday or something like that. And then I just remember after that, I was playing in my granddaddy's yard. My granddaddy had a big tree. Like they would grow pine cones on them. And I remember when we were little, don't ask why, but I was raised with like all boys. So when we were little, we would climb to the top of the tree and we would pee out the top of the tree. Don't know why. But I loved to climb that tree. And I remember my sister was gone at school, I believe, and I was at the top of the tree, and I was climbing the tree, and I remember a van pulled up, and they went and they were talking to my mom. And I don't remember if I came down from the tree at first or not, but I just remember the social workers wanting to take me. And I remember screaming and crying and I climbed to the top of the tree, and I would not come down. And the social workers couldn't get me to come down, so I remember my mom came to the bottom of the tree. And my mom kept telling me that it was going to be all right, and she told me to climb down from the tree. And I trusted her. She said it was going to be okay, that nothing was going to happen, and she told me to climb down from the tree. So I climbed down from the tree, and I grabbed my mom, and she was holding me, and my mom just let me go. She just handed me to them. Like, I trusted her. And I just remember I was little, and she didn't even look at me. She just handed me to the people. And that's something that has always hurt me, because she just handed me to them. And then I remember sitting in the car with me and my little sisters, and I was crying. They were crying, and I didn't know what was happening. And they were looking for my big sister, and everybody kept on asking me where my big sister was, and I was like, I don't know. And they were asking me, like, did I know friend's house that she could be at and stuff like that. And I guess I told them some places where I thought she could be, and everywhere they looked, they couldn't find her. So they drove. I remember us driving back to my granddaddy's house. Later on, I found out that's because my big sister was there. I found out later on, my sister said that she was at the, I think she said she was in Moreno Valley doing something, going to get hair or something like that. I don't remember what she was doing, but she had came back home, and she said she seen my mom, and she said as soon as she came to the gate, she said she felt like something was wrong. She said because when we were little, she said we would always run to the gate, and when she came home, and she said we didn't run to the gate, and she said she ran, and she started looking for us, and she said she seen my mom. My mom looked sad, and she said, where's my sisters? And she said my mom just wasn't saying that. She's like, where's my sisters? And then she said my mom told her where we were, and my sister, there was like orange groves. Back in the day, there used to be like lots of orange groves before they got cut down. And we used to always play there, and we had like a secret spot there. And my sister said that she told my mom it's fine, they weren't going to get her, that she would run into the orange groves. But then my mom told her no. And she said that my mom called the people back, and I guess that's why we ended up going back to my granddaddy's house, and they picked up my big sister. And the thing that I remember about my big sister is that she was always so strong, because I was sitting there crying. And to this day, I asked my sister, because I never knew if she cried when we left. She told me that she didn't exactly say she did, but I'm sure she was saying that she did, because I never seen her cry. Like, she was a strong big sister, especially for me to have been such an evil little sister. She was a strong big sister, and she was always there for me, especially when nobody else was, even when I thought other people were. And I never remember seeing her crying. But we went to the CPS office, and we sat there, and they gave us some snacks, and we were watching TV for a while. And then they drove us to some Mexican or white lady's house. And then they had a big pool. It was a nice house. I remember being there. And the first night, I sat in that bed, and I just cried and cried and cried. And my big sister was right there holding me. She was right there holding me, and I never seen her cry. But I guess the reason I never seen her cry was because she was over me. So she probably was crying, and I didn't know. But I remember we were there for a while. They didn't really know how to do our hair or anything. I don't remember them neglecting us or anything like that. But I do remember they had a pool, and we were swimming in their pool one day. It was a big pool. I didn't know how to swim. And their daughter was watching us, but she had like headphones on. And my big sister, I was on the shallow end, and my big sister, she was swimming towards the deep end. And I thought like, oh my gosh, that's cool. I wanna go in the deep end. So I got out the pool, and I ran around the side, and I jumped in the deep end close to where my sister was. And I couldn't swim, but I didn't know I couldn't swim. So I started drowning, and my littler sister, came to the pool, and she was trying to help me, and she put her hand to help me, and when I was pulling up to get out, I pulled her in. And I was little though, so she was drowning, but I was out the pool. I managed to get out the pool, but now she was drowning. And I didn't know what to do because I was little. I was like, I already know what's going to happen if I get back in this water. So I was just running around, and my little sister was drowning. And then the lady's daughter heard my sister drowning. I just remember seeing her run and jump in the pool. And then after that, I just remember we got taken away from them, I believe, because they said that we were endangered there. I don't remember what happened, but I remember we were taken from that house. Going back towards like my mom, before we went to foster care and stuff, more of the turn and stuff. I remember my cousin living with us. She the one that lived with my auntie when she was little. She came and lived with us, and she was pregnant now. I think she was like 13 or 14, but she was pregnant now. And I love my cousin so much. I can definitely say that I seen so much from her, and that's where I think I could say our bond came from. Cause I remember my mom. I remember we had landlords, and they were bad people. And I remember the landlords. I remember seeing my mom walked up to the landlord. She didn't have no money to pay for the rent, and my mom kept on telling me to go home, and she went.